Hey everyone, welcome to Toys of Primus, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the goddess from the Spawn manga series from back in, I want to say the early 2000s, but I think it was the late 90s somewhere around, oh, I don't know, what years were these, is there like a year somewhere on this box that I can see when these were made? 97? Okay, so around 97 these came out. I do remember seeing some of these in comic book shops, like some of these that are listed on the side. The only ones I never seen in the comic book shops or toy stores was Manga Spawn. And I remember seeing him on the back of the boxes a lot, and I always wanted that figure. And guess what? I finally bought him. Where is he? I have him on the side here. Boom, there he is. So he's gonna be the next video unboxing slash review I'm going to do is on that guy. But yeah, there was always tons of crazy looking McFarlane figures on the back of these boxes, and I always remember just staring at the figures a lot every time I go into the comic book shop, or if I seen these hanging off the pegs inside KB toy stores, which rest in peace, KB toy stores is no longer around. But if you look down here, you get the instructions on the back with a cutout card of the character. And I believe there was like 3 or 4 different variants of this mold or character, because if you notice in the instructions, her hair is covered up by her purple suit, and in this version she has the hair out. So there is another version out there without the soft hair there. Alright, take a very quick trip down memory lane, looking at all of the older Spawn figures. I did have quite a few of these from the movie and some of those from series 8. But yeah, the manga series was pretty crazy looking. It's supposed to be inspired by, you know, Japanese manga or anime, and they just got very creative with a lot of these characters. But the goddess is always one I always saw in the comic book shops. Never did bother to buy her, but now many years later I finally decided to buy her off eBay. So we're gonna take a look at her and unbox this. Alright, so now we have the goddess open up out of the package, and she is a very well looking figure. She is nicely designed, but I would say she's mostly good for displaying on the shelf instead of playing around with, because she doesn't hold the staff very well. The wings were a pain to get in the back. It's like you have to get them through peg holes in the back of her armor, through another set of peg holes that are like drilled into the back of the actual figure. But besides that, everything else about her looks great. And of course she has, I would say, the standard amount of articulation for a McFarlane figure. So just pick her up gently here and show her closely to the camera. Put the weapon back there. So her helmet is pretty cool. You can push down onto the top of it and lift it up, revealing her face. And of course, this is the figure with the hair, so you could display that back there if you want, or have it go over a shoulder like shown on the back of the box. But the one on the back of the box, come on camera, there we go, as you can see, her hair looks a lot more, I don't know, longer in length, and this is all the hair you're getting for the actual figure, or at least for my figure anyways. So if we're going to get into articulation, oh, by the way, the helmet is removable, so that's pretty cool. And I don't know if you can get that to hold it. Her elbows do not rotate, so I don't know, it'd be kind of tricky to get her to hold the helmet. Maybe put it over her hand and lift her arms up a little bit, and there you go. You can have her hold the helmet. So going into her articulation, the head does rotate left and right. For the arms, they do go forward and back. The elbows, of course, got a single jointed elbow to move the forearm, and for the wrist or the hands, they do rotate. And that's about it. Alright, and for the legs, she can move her legs out at an awkward angle. So it's not really going forward, it's kind of going forward and out. And they kind of go back at an awkward angle as well, because of the way the sculpt is underneath the waist area. And for the rest of the leg, she does have knee joints, but it's a single joint there. So you can bend both of her knees. And that's about it. So just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 points of articulation for the goddess. And like I mentioned before, she has a great looking Spawn figure from the Spawn manga series, that is. And I'm just trying to fix her hair here. I mean, I love the gold armor look on her. It looks really cool, as well as the pink translucent wings there. At least I think that's pink. It looks like it to me. But yeah, getting these in was a little bit of a hassle. Like, there's a top view sort of where you have to put the pegs of the wings in. You have to go through the back of that golden armor into another set of peg holes into the actual figure, which was kind of annoying. But it's doable. And it's mostly annoying because the peg holes on the back of the armor, you kind of have to like squeeze the wings through them, I guess, to mold them into the correct size, because the holes are not really the correct size for those pegs. So you have to squeeze them in there. Alright, so let's put her helmet back on and take a look at her accessory, which is just that long, cool looking staff there. So the mask or the helmet, just you have it up like that, or move it down, and she looks awesome. Alright, getting her to balance might be a little bit tricky as well. I'm using a rotating base, so that might be a reason why it's a little bit trickier for me. Alright, so here is her bladed staff. Not sure if this has a particular name to it. It looks very bizarre, and I think you could get you could actually get it to hold in both of her hands instead of one, because getting it to hold in one hand might be a little bit tricky. But so far, I do think this is a neat looking design, since this is from a older Spawn series. Well, Spawn manga series, I should say. So of course the weapons are going to look crazy, and you know, you could unwrap this ribbon that goes around it. And this does have a gimmick to it. This blade at the end, if you push the button right there, that blade launches out, and it's very easy to get it back in there if you just follow the pattern and just there we go, and squeeze the rest in. So that shoots out. So I do think that's pretty neat. Alright, so let's see if we can get her to hold this a little bit better. It might be a bit tricky. See, might have to put her hand under it instead of over it, because just how big that staff is. I think I got it. I got something going on here. Hold on, let me get the hair out the way. And let me see if I could get her to stand. Okay. I got her in somewhat of a pose. Not really a cool pose, but a pose. So yeah, that is the goddess from the Spawn manga series from back in 90, I want to say, yeah, 97, around there. Always saw this particular figure in like comic book shops or around KB toy stores. Never did bought it until now, and I do think she's really cool looking. Really dig the design. I mean, I dig a lot of designs that McFarlane put out back in the day of all of the crazy looking figures, and you know, a lot of them I passed up on because, you know, I never had the opportunity or money to actually buy these figures back in the day. But now that I'm older and catching up on some of, you know, old school figures, it's a welcome addition to my Spawn collection. There we go. How's that for a pose? Also inside the box was these old school pamphlets that show all of the toys that were either already out or that were coming out. The Todd McFarlane Monsters, the Kiss figures, Spawn movie figures, Spawn manga, of course, down there, which I just showed you the Goddess. And who's that? Oh, that's Manga Curse, Manga Clown, Manga Ninja Spawn. He looks really cool. Manga Violator, and Manga Spawn, the one I always wanted, and I finally got a chance to buy him, so he will be my next review. And if you turn this around, there's advertisements for other Spawn products, such as the PS1 video game, which I think that was also available for Dreamcast. I do have one of the video games. I think it's called Spawn Armageddon or something like that for the original Xbox console. It's advertising the comic books, the soundtrack to the movie, the HBO animated series, which kids were not supposed to watch, but I watched it anyways. There we go. There's Spawn from the movie, which I always really digged his movie outfit. Unfortunately, the movie sucked. Now, there is supposed to be a remake. I believe McFarlane is working on the script for that, so who knows how the remake will turn out. Hopefully, it'll turn out a lot better than the previous film. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to end this video now and upload this video. And final thoughts, I really dig the Goddess, mostly for display purposes. She doesn't look like something I would want to play around with and move the joints around a lot, because stuff either might break off or, you know, she might not hold stuff very well, like the weapon. As you can see, I have to put it in certain poses, but it seemed like she could hold it well as long as, you know, you're just displaying the figure and not touching the figure. The wings were sort of a hassle, but they were manageable, and I think she's a really neat design. Very happy to finally acquire this figure. Alright, so look out for the next Manga Spawn video, which will be for this guy. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later, and stay awesome.